Before the video starts, I'd just like to thank you all for the massive amount of support I saw on the RuneScape timeline video that I uploaded 4 months ago. The reason why I haven't uploaded any more afterwards is because I was working on a new project for my other channel that some of you may know about that is called The Top 10s, on which I make other countdown videos for that relate to not just RuneScape, but anything and everything. One video I posted on that channel a week ago took quite a while to make, which is why Mote Plox hasn't received any videos lately. It was a space-related video about the 6 ways that the universe might end. For anyone interested in space, I'll leave a link for it down in the description if anyone wants to check it out. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, guys. Alright, back to the video. Number 10. Bodhi and the RuneScape community. I feel like I can't make a video like this without mentioning this man. With the outstanding help of the RuneScape community, over the years, Bodhi has been able to organize and host multiple charity live streams that were quite successful in their missions. In 2014, Bodhi raised a little over £50,000 for Macmillan Cancer Support, one of the largest British charities that provides specialist healthcare and financial support as well as emotional support to people affected by cancer. Before these two 12-hour streams, Bodhi stated that he only expected to receive maybe around £10,000, but his expectations were obviously exceeded. In 2015, next year, around the same time, he raised a further £53,000 for the same organization. Then in 2016, raised another £76,000 for Macmillan Cancer Support again, and £22,800 of it actually was donated personally by Bodhi himself to reach this goal. All 3 of these live streams equaled up to £180,606 to be given to Macmillan Cancer Support over these past 3 years. Bodhi had also promised that if the 2016 charity stream was a success, he would stream every single day for all 365 days out of the year in 2017, a goal that he also accomplished as well. It was also in 2017 that the organization him and the RuneScape community were so generous towards presented Adam with the Young Macmillan Champion Award. During the interview of the presentation, when asked why he chose this specific organization to use his influence on, he responded with this.
My grandmother actually was taking care of Macmillan before she died, so that actually gave a sort of connection to me, and that's why I stuck with Macmillan for years to come.
Also, during this year, he was a part of another live stream with some other creators that ended up raising around £5,000 as well, for which Bodhi's eyebrows were waxed when that milestone was hit. In 2018, for all he had done, he was cordially invited to the Buckingham Palace on January 31st, requested by His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales. A couple years later, and after much success, he then posted a tweet on November 24th, 2020, 8 months ago, stating, "Over the years, I've achieved almost everything I've ever wanted to in streaming. Now, I would rather the generosity of others be distributed to others chasing their dreams. I have decided to remove my donation button off my Twitch channel." Today, currently in 2021, Bodhi is still streaming and is still quite successful, and he deserves every bit of it. Publicly, there are records of what he's raised in terms of charity streams, however we'll never truly know just how much he's given to charities personally, but he let us in on one of the personal donations that he made back in May of 2020 to the Minnesota Freedom Fund. He donated $10,000 of his own money to the organization. But if we're talking about Bodhi, we've got to mention the entire RuneScape community too. Bodhi hosted these events, but it was also the RuneScape community that made these live streams such a success. His live streams, and with the help of them, will go down in history as one of the greatest times that RuneScape was wholesome. Number 9. The Well of Goodwill. This well, for both game versions, was located within Varrock, near the West Bank. Money, items that were tradable on the Grand Exchange, and membership bonds could be donated to it, and those items would then be converted to real-world money and be given to charities that were chosen by Jagex. In RuneScape 3, every 10 million coins equated up to $1. But at the end of November in 2013, that amount was then upgraded to $2 for every 10 million coins. For every membership bond that was given, $4.70 was also donated to charity. For Oldschool RuneScape at the time, in 2014, $1 was given to charity by Jagex for every 1 million coins. The Well of Goodwill within OSRS would only accept certain items and coins in multiples of 1,000. RuneScape 3 began the tradition, starting off with the Well's creation in 2013, and its 5th opening occurred in early 2016. In Oldschool RuneScape, the Well of Goodwill has opened 3 times, starting in 2014, with its last opening in early 2016 as well. Unfortunately, I couldn't figure out what the exact total was that the well accumulated over time for charity, but as an example, RuneScape 3's Well of Goodwill raised $160,158. All of this was split up in 3 ways to be given to 3 different charities that year. It's safe to say that it was obviously hundreds of thousands of dollars, all thanks to, once again, the RuneScape community giving away their own in-game items, and Jagex for hosting it. Number 8. Modronin's Silverlight stream. So let's stop talking about money and numbers for a bit. The community has proven that you don't just have to donate to charity to be wholesome. Sometimes, and not all the time, we do have fun with each other within our own little community that we have here occasionally. 6 years ago, on March 5th, 2015, Jagex did a live stream that was hosted by now ex-Jagex moderator Modronin. He pulled pranks on unsuspecting players using the Jagex moderator developer item, the Rotten Potato. He spawned himself as an Elysian spirit shield in the wilderness and other places to unsuspecting players, and released tons of Bando's boss pets at the Grand Exchange, which must have been a nightmare if your game sounds were on. And he went around telling players that they were in fact number 1, shortly before they were raided by the live stream's thousands of viewers.
Hey Nicewood, just come to let you know you are officially number 1. Lol, thanks. Thanks, guys. He already knows what's coming. Let me screenshot. Okay, everyone that comes here, you need to say Nicewood69 is number 1. He wants a decent screenshot. You know what? I'll take it. That was a decent enough reaction for me.
This iconic moment was born as well.
How did you get the Silverlight? Come on. This could be the best one yet. Google it. Wow. Okay. Oh. I'm taken back. That was not the response I was expecting.
Throughout the years, it has been nice to see that sometimes players can forget about the grind of the game and come together to make some really wholesome moments happen for some other unsuspecting players. Number 7. Jagex and mental health. Starting back in 2018, Jagex began hosting mental health awareness weeks in RuneScape. In RuneScape 3, you could purchase in-game items for either a membership bond or a small sum of real-life money that would then be donated to charity by the year's end, summing up all the mental health awareness weeks that had taken place throughout the year. I'm unsure what the total was for 2018 and 2019, however I was able to find out what 2020's end of the year sum was. Once again, the community came together, and Jagex announced on their Twitter page that they were able to raise £445,778 throughout the entire year of 2020. All of this money was given to charity organizations that deal in mental health care. Number 6. Crumb's Wholesome Bot. I couldn't not use this one. For one, it was wholesome, and 2, wholesome was literally in the title of the video when I found it. There will be a link in the description if you'd like to check out the full video and other videos I've mentioned and will be mentioning in this video altogether. Anyway, Crumb, great YouTuber by the way, programmed a bot that would, in his own words, make one of his childhood dreams become a reality. It was close to Halloween time around this time, and one of his dreams had always been to see RuneScape players be able to actually go trick-or-treating. So, what he did was, within South Falador, placed 4 of his programmed bots in the houses around the area. These bots were programmed to say, trade to get spooked. When the player would trade them, the bot would then ask them, trick or treat. The player would have to respond which one they wanted, and if they chose trick, the bot would tell them a little joke. If they chose treat, the bot would give them candy and maybe some items. It was actually successful. Players began interacting with the bots inside the houses, and it genuinely looked like RuneScape players were in fact trick-or-treating. I thought it was pretty wholesome. Crumb did have one consistent worry though.
God, this is so whack. I hope I don't get banned.
Unfortunately, his worry became a reality one day before Halloween, 2 days after the video was posted, when all of his bots, as well as his main Crumb account that was in the video, was unfortunately, permanently, manually banned. Within the description, Crumb wrote, "Oh well, rules are rules, and such is life." Number 5. Michael Untz. On June 6, 2018, the player Michael Untz made a video in which he gave out 500 million coins to random, unsuspecting free players. In the video, he had stated that it had always been a dream of his to be so rich that he could just give away a huge chunk of money to the free players. And on this day, he was able to do just that. There's not much more to the video than that. It's quite wholesome and quite simple. Here are some of the reactions.
Watch this. Let's see his reaction. There it is. It's gone. What the fuck? God's plan. Is that a mistake? No. This is gonna help this guy so much. I'm just looking at his stats right now. There you go, 30 mil. Level 65. Aw, this guy, he can't even afford Rune. Nah, this guy's gonna get it. Rub-a-dub-duck. There you go. I'll give you 50. I'll give you 30. I'll give you 30. I'll give you 30. I gave the other guy 30. Easy, dude. Wow, thanks. Thank yous. Aw.
Number 4. RuneWatch. So, if you use the client Runelight to play Oldschool RuneScape, you can navigate to the plugin hub, which are tools that have been created by other RuneScape players that can be enabled while you're playing the game to give you an easier, or in this case, safer RuneScape gaming experience. This plugin allows you to right-click on players in-game or in clan chat menus and other various player menus and investigate them. You'll then be told whether or not the player you investigated is on a watch list. If they're on a watch list, it means that they've recently scammed other players or broken some of RuneScape's rules. You can even see if other players are on a watch list while you're trading with them too. RuneWatch has a website containing this entire watch list located at runewatch.com, and it's still active even today. On the website, you can read case files against certain players that have been put on this watch list. The case files also contain star ratings depending on how legitimate the evidence against the accused player is. There's even a system put in play that will tell you the username at the time of the offense, and that username will change automatically if the offender changes their username as well. The process for filing one of these reports and getting them passed is strict and requires much evidence to be accepted. RuneWatch has been around since 2014 and was created by respected clan leaders, and was originally created to be a source for clans to go to for a transparent, legitimate, and reliable community support system. This website and plugin was created for the sole purpose of keeping RuneScape players safe while playing, making it, in my opinion, one of the most wholesome creations RuneScape players themselves have ever made, with other RuneScape players in mind. Number 3. RuneScape and Venezuela. Now this one is a little controversial within the community, so I'll keep my opinions to myself and just report the facts of what I found. One of those facts is that, whether people like it or not, it's a fact that within Venezuela, RuneScape is literally helping people to survive. As a country, Venezuela lies on the northern coast of South America and has a current population of 28.52 million people living there. 90% of them are all below the poverty line within the country. The country's currency can even sometimes be found in the trash. It's so worthless that not even criminals will bother with stealing it. I recently watched a video that I'll put in the description that came from a YouTuber called Save Data, in which he got the chance to interview one of Venezuela's citizens about playing RuneScape and selling items to literally stay alive. The man's name was Martinez, and he told Save Data, quote, "My family would have starved." He continued on to say that he personally knew a lot of people that were able to leave the country thanks to Oldschool RuneScape, and that he still knows people that are still trying to do it to this day. Some Venezuelans go to a Reddit page known as r/slavelabor, and yes, this actually exists, where they can find RuneScape players offering them jobs and paying them real-world money to complete tasks on their accounts. This is done regularly with not just Venezuela, but most poorer countries, offered by first world countries. Venezuelan players have had such an effect on RuneScape's economy that in March of 2019, when the country experienced an entire electrical blackout throughout it, prices on RuneScape items rose significantly shortly after it because of it, as shown by the red line within the video that represents the blackout itself. This has created some varying opinions from players from first world countries within Oldschool RuneScape's Reddit page. One player made a very detailed guide on how to kill Venezuelan players in the wilderness, but this was actually later removed by moderators later on. Unsurprisingly, the replies beneath this thread were very, very mean. The author of this original post later apologized for making it. But for as many players that have come together and expressed their hate for the players of Venezuela, there have also been players that intentionally look for Spanish-speaking players to confront them and ask them if they need help in the real world. The community is unfortunately half and half on this stance because it is against the RuneScape rules, but there's also half of the community that is willing to, without question, break those rules to help other human beings survive. And I think that's pretty wholesome. Number 2. So this one's really cool, and something I've even got to do in real life too actually before. This person met their RuneScape friend in real life after having known them only through the game for 13 years prior since they were both kids. They hung out and did a bunch of fun stuff together. It's a pretty wholesome video, and I'll leave the full link in the description. Here's a small clip of it when they finally meet.
Alright, I'm at LAX. I am about to meet my childhood RuneScape friend right now of 13 years. Oh man, I'm nervous. Oh shit, here he comes. Holy shit, dude!
Oh, we're live! We're streaming!
Yeah.
What's happening?
You're a real person.
I'm a real person.
Dude, this is nuts! RuneScape, bro.
RuneScape. That was the start, man. That's what led us here. I'm actually fucking excited to be in LA and
Is this your first time in LA?
Since I've been like an adult, yeah.
Number 1. Michael, my brother. For those of you who don't know, I had an older brother who passed away 3 years ago on July 23rd, 2018. His anniversary is coming up that will officially make it 3 years since he's been gone. I grew up in a single mother home with my sister and him. I don't really know where my father is, but my mother never remarried after he left when I was 2. In the past, times had always been difficult for us financially as I grew up. Michael had Down syndrome, and he passed away at the age of 27 when I was 24. Well, I'm 27 now, and I wanted to include this moment in the video and tell you guys that to me, this will always be the number 1 most wholesome moment in RuneScape history for myself and for my family. You guys, in a matter of 24 hours, 3 years ago, raised $21,210 on his GoFundMe page that was created by my cousin Shelby that I told you all about. I remember having to record that video around 1 in the morning just a few hours after he passed, and it's something that I don't really like going back to and looking at even now. That's why those videos are privated now. Most of the $21,210 that you guys raised for my family within that 24-hour period went to medical bills and the cost of his funeral. Whatever was left, which wasn't much, all went to my mother. I still think about what you all did for us 3 years ago, especially on the date of his anniversaries when he passed. Since he's been gone, my grandpa and my grandma shortly followed after him. That's honestly why the upload schedule for the Mote Plox channel for the past 3 years, and for the top 10s, has been, let's face it, non-existent. I don't talk about those times much anymore, and I'm sort of an entirely different person now than I was when I was consistently making videos years ago. But I'd just like to re-thank you all, speaking for all of my family still, when I tell you all that we haven't forgotten about what you did for us back then so long ago. It sounds cheesy, but RuneScape was probably always going to have a special place in my heart throughout my life, but now I can say for sure that after that, yeah, it always will. I'll never forget how you all helped me bury my brother, which was something my whole family always worried about before the actual time came. So once again, thank you all. That is my number 1 time where RuneScape was wholesome.